everybody. Welcome to the folks that are online already. I really appreciate you being here. And I really want to say something to you. This presentation, I think it's fair to say you already know. You know everything I'm going to say. And it's all about reawakening yourself. It's all about getting that if there's something missing in you getting what you want, it lives in your head. It lives in your belief system. It lives in the amount of fear that drives you. It lives in you just not believing in yourself enough. You know? I mean, I'm going to say this now and I'll say it again in the presentation, is if you don't have what you want yet in the first quarter of this year, guess whose fault it is? It's yours. And as soon as you can get a sense of humor about that, you can start turning things around. I mean, I'm going to tell you a little bit today about all the stuff I've done in the first quarter. And my God, I'm 70 years old. So, you know, if I can do it, you can do it. So it's not about, you know, Clay's this or Clay's that, or because he teaches this and does that, that he's able to get all this done. The truth is I use the tools that I tell you about and have told you about and have given seminars on and have gone to NHB and talked about and have, you know, talked in all the pool supply places and, you know, for 35 years. So don't beat yourself up. Just listen to me today like, oh, yeah, I remember that. And then make a note. Start making some notes on what lights you up about what I say. Okay. And also, you know, let's get some questions in here, all right? Oh, and one other thing. Before this show is over, would you guys be so kind as to write in a topic that you'd like me to speak on? I've got tons of topics I can speak on, but I'd rather do it for you all. You know, you tell me what you'd like me to expound on, and I'll sure as heck do it. So please write in topics for the next, I don't know, 10 or 12 shows. It'd be great. We're going to be doing them once a month. Life is good, so let me know how I can serve you better, okay? Okay, here we go. Getting past the impossible. Don't be stuck in the mud. And the mud I'm talking about is between your ears. Getting past the impossible is actually doing what you say you're going to do. Now, what is doing what you say you're going to do? Isn't that the definition of integrity? So think about that now, all right? So, you know, you hopefully write out what you say you want and really, really want, and then you go do it. And if you don't do it, you know, what's got you? Usually it's your head, and you're out of integrity with what you spoke yourself to be. So we'll talk about be, do, have today, too. So this topic could take us into a great philosophical debate. Man, we could really all this one to death. But we're not going to go there today. Instead, as we talk today, I'd like you to be thinking about what you believe is impossible in your life and consider taking those impossibilities into the land of possible. I mean, think about that. You made up, whether you like it or not, you made up that they are impossible. Now, the truth is you can make up that they're not impossible, that they are possible. Like the next slide says, for success, attitude is equally as important as ability. All right? For success, attitude is equally as important as ability. And attitude also encompasses commitment. All right? So to be successful, your attitude has to be, your wants have to be, your get her done has to be, your gonna have it no matter what has to be equally as important as your ability, okay? So the muscle between your ears, all right, has to get over muscle with the muscles between your intention and what's in your head. So the definition of impossible, here we go, this is really good. The definition of impossible goes like this: something that cannot be done, not capable of occurring, or being accomplished or dealt with. Boy, that's a mouthful. That's about negative, negative, negative. The definition of possible is existing in a possibility, capable of happening or existing. And I got to tell you, when I look at this definition written on this page, or these two definitions written on this page, the possible one is a lot shorter, a lot easier to read, faster to get through, and more believable. The definition of impossible is really negative, really a downer to be with. So it's like I would naturally default to the possibility. Who would I have to be to have what I say I want? So do you realize that by simply taking the negative out of the definition of impossible, we would have the definition of possible? Now think about that. What if we simply changed our way, all right, and our way of thinking from negative to positive? Now, how do you change your way of thinking from negative to positive? You think about where you are and you feel if it's all negative. If it's all negative, what can you do? There's only one thing you can do, and that's change it to positive. Okay? You have to get over giving up. You could give up, I realize, but you cannot give up. For you to have what you say you want is not going to be easy. So you can't give up. You got to get over that right away. All right? So what if we simply change our way of thinking from negative to positive? How much more would we be able to accomplish by just changing negative to positive, just changing I can't to I can? Now we're going to take a look at the be, do, have. And you guys have been with me through years of be, do, have-ness. Be is about who are you being while you're doing what you do to have what you want, okay? A lot of folks do their job so they can have their paycheck, so they can have their bass boat, or they have the little white house with the white picket fence, or so that they can have travel money, or so they can have beer money, or so that they can have anything they want. And people just absolutely neglect who are they being while they're doing what they're doing to have what they have. So you could be doing a great job, so you can make the money to have what you want, but who are you being? A jerk, a loudmouth, a control monster? You got it? So it's more important that you absolutely get who you're being and where you lead people. It's way more important than what you do to have what you have, right? So I'm going to give you some examples now, all right? It's like we do things in order to have what we have, but who are we being when we are doing what we do to have what we have? Now think about the person with the food addiction. Boy, there are a lot of those folks in the United States, okay, whose quality of life is dependent upon their changing their eating habits. And we just look at them and say, stop eating. Easy enough, right? But they don't believe they can. They believe it's impossible. So they're being negative and stop, and they just keep eating. Or what about those addicted to drugs or tobacco or alcohol? I had my share of time, 45 years ago about drugs, tobacco 35 years ago, and alcohol probably 30 years ago. And we look at them and say, well, just stop. Don't do it anymore. But they can't imagine a world without it. To them, it's impossible. And to them means it's how they think. They're being negative and stopped. So, what about a business owner that is stopped and beaten down by market conditions, or has completely given up on accomplishing what he or she set out to do on January 1? It's like they tried but failed, right? Now let's get real clear about the word try. Try is a great place to get absolutely nothing done, and the world says it's okay. So what if you took try out of your language? Sound familiar, guys? What if you took try out of your language and you either did it or you didn't do it? If you did it, great. You're a wonderful person. If you didn't do it, you got to get started, get her done. All right? So they tried but failed. No, they really haven't failed. They're being negative and stopped. So they haven't quit yet. They're just being negative along the way. Regardless of why you get stuck or what circumstances has you by the neck, possibilities become impossible because fear or not feeling good enough caused us to cease being in action. So the big one, boys, like I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm going to be found out. None of us can get what we want if we're standing still. If you're just sitting in a chair, laying on a couch, or standing still, leaning your shoulder against the wall, contemplating your navel, nothing's going to happen. Your brain's going to absolutely shut you down. So when we stand still, what had been possible becomes completely impossible simply because we're not moving. You got to stay in action. You got to keep moving. You got to keep getting that input from the world. So what do you believe is impossible? Okay, now this is going to be fun. I've made a list of things that most people, most clients, myself, Beth, you know, my kids are old enough to be entrenched in this. Each of us has our own list of things that are impossible for us. It's what we believe, secretly standing by ourselves, okay? So it's impossible, like giving up an addiction, getting along with a difficult neighbor. You know, it's like it's impossible, you know? Reaching a personal fitness goal, you know, like you know, I went out and I had a gym built on my new property here in Montana, and had a whole deadlift system put inside. And when it was all built, the steps were all made and everything else, I walked out there and said, really good, to the contractor. I said, thank you very much, shook hands. He took his tools and left. And then it was about 3 months before I went out there and worked out, because I was going, I don't know if I want to work out or not. I don't know if I should. I was 69 years old then. And I was going, well, maybe I hurt myself, or maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe you're not supposed to work out if you're old, you know? So I was really doing it, boy. Having enough of anything, you know, it's like I may not have enough of anything. Being excited about having the same job for 15 years, is that impossible? Growing your team members in their on-the-job abilities, is that, you know, how many of you have actually thought that growing somebody on your team is just impossible? I just can't get it done. The guy just doesn't learn. He doesn't hear. Increasing your business sales over last year? Nope, can't do that. Oh my God. No one can do it, so I can't do it. Let's go ahead and eat worms. So how do we turn our personal impossibilities into possibilities? Okay, here you go. Here's the biggie. We have to really, really, really want what we want. Now, think about this. When's the last time you really, 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 really wanted something that you didn't get? Think about that. Also think about the times that you thought you really, really, really wanted it, but secretly you didn't, and you didn't get it. Okay, we also have to have a plan. Now, we'll talk about that a little later in the show here, but you have to have a written plan. If you can't write down what you want, you can't speak it. If you can't speak it, you can't ask for help to get it. Pretty logical, huh? It's additive. All right? We have to be held accountable. Look, if you think you can get to where you're going by yourself, you'd be there already. See, most of the things we really, really want are so big, it takes a team of people to get us there. So we have to humble out and ask for help. We have to be able to recognize when we're stopped. That's a good one. Be able to ask for help to get ourselves restarted again. And I'll show you some examples of what it is to be stopped, you know, eating words and stuff. So how to turn, all right, impossible into possible and keep you from getting stuck. All right, here we go. You ready? Look up on the screen now. It says 1, all right, be clear about what you want. Now, you have to understand, you can't do 2 or 3 I wants at the same time, all right? Unless it's losing weight, working out, and getting healthy. Those you can do, all right? But most of the time, being clear about what you want is mandatory. You have to know what you're asking for. You can't sort of want a bunch of stuff, okay? And 2, you have to really, 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 really want what you want. I mean, you have to really want it. You have to fight for it. You have to be clear about it. You have to go to bed with it. You have to wake up with it. You have to really, 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 really want it, okay? All right? And then 3rd, which should be maybe first, is you have to believe in yourself. You have to say to yourself, I can do this. And you have to say to yourself, you know, when you find yourself stopped or you think that you can't do it, you got to get yourself restarted again. Being clear about what you want and being clear about what you don't want, that's equally as important, will help you make choices that will make what you want a reality. All right? So you have to think in your own behalf. Don't let your head take you down some tube that leaves you in a place called I can't. You have to really, really, really want what you want. Write that down, underline it with several underlines. It's like an example. Do you want to be happy or unhappy? Do you want to be healthy or unhealthy? I mean, all these are pretty simple questions, and you automatically say, well, I want to be happy. Great. What's your plan for being happy? See, we all think, well, it just happens. No, it doesn't happen. You know, have you ever been around somebody that's happy all the time? You think he's on drugs. Something's wrong with him. So you got to get real clear. It takes energy, commitment, and direction to be healthy, to be happy. Do you want to have a great relationship with your spouse or not? It's up to you. You know, I've learned with Susan that there are things I just need to be quiet and listen to. And once she's through saying them, she doesn't want to be fixed. She doesn't want to be turned around. She doesn't want to say anything other than, wow, that was great. And I give her a hug. Now, that only took me 58 years to learn. We've been married for, let me see, 32 years, and together 38 years. And so it took me a long time to learn that. I was Mr. Fix-It, you know. And most people don't want to be fixed. They just want to be heard. So being clear about what you want and don't want will help you make choices that will make what you want a reality. All right, next, you have to really, and more reallys, want what you want. Example, if you don't really want to be healthy, you won't follow through on the commitment, big word there, on the commitment to eat healthy, throw out the junk food, and show up at the gym every day. The commitment, remember we talked about that earlier? Commitment's a biggie. You have to give up self-doubt. Here we go. You have to give up self-doubt. Now, where does self-doubt come from? Think about that. You're arguing with your mind, right? In a little while, we'll talk about this, but your mind is designed, well, I guess I'm going to talk about it right now. Cool. See, I'm not even sure what I'm going to talk about, but I know I'm going to do a great job here because that's what I'm committed to. It's who I am. It's what I believe. You understand that? And it's not ego. Please don't go there. It's about being clear about where I want to leave you all in 42 minutes on the topic of you really getting what you say you want. Okay? So you have to give up self-doubt. You have to believe that what you want is possible to get no matter what. I mean, think of the Wright brothers. You know, the guys that we were told for many years invented, you know, flying in the air. Now there's talk about they weren't the first guys, but whatever. Who did those folks have to be to keep flying and crashing, flying and crashing, flying and crashing? And they had to really want what they want because they kept crashing. And all of a sudden, they went for a flight, scared them half to death. But it really was cool, all right? So you have to give up self-doubt and believe it is possible. Remember, don't beat yourself up for failure. The world will do that for you for free. Have no fear. If you're doing something that you absolutely love, and you're doing the dance with it, and you go up and down, backwards and forwards, and everything else, don't worry. Everybody will have something to say about it. They want to put their 2 cents in, and almost always it's negative. So what I do is when I'm getting gossiped about or talked to or talked down to, I know I'm doing something, boy, because I got the world churned up. It's fun to cheer up the world. It's great. In fact, without me cheering them up or churning them up, all right, what would they have to do, for God's sake? So I'm keeping a lot of people alive, all right? You have to have a plan for getting what you want. Remember I said, if you can't write it down, you can't speak it. You absolutely have to write your plan. Like, what I want is, how I want to get it is, the help I need to get it is, what I know about getting it is, what I don't know about getting it is. I mean, it's Dick and Jane simple, but you have to write it down so you can convert it to language. And if you can't speak it, in other words, if you don't write it down, you can't speak it. If you can't speak it, you can't ask for the help you need to get it. Remember earlier I said, if you could get to where what you want shows up by yourself, you'd have it. And you can't, because you need help. It takes more than one person to get you there. So you have to be able to speak what you want. You have to be able to ask for help. And there's the biggie again, that old word, accountability. Remember I said at the beginning of the talk? You have to ask for help. Remember, if we go where we were going without a team, we'd already be there. Clear? Think about that for a minute. Now, You have to get past your own personal fears. Now, this is the biggest one that will stop you. What you think about yourself standing in the shower soaping up. What you think about yourself when you wake up in the morning. Excuse me, when you wake up in the morning and you're not quite ready to throw the covers off yourself and you're looking at the alarm clock and it hadn't gone off yet, and you just start thinking about how the day's going to go and how you are going to be. And most of the time, except for a few occasions, you kind of chewing on yourself a little bit. You know what I mean? So you got to give up your own personal fears. You can't keep toasting yourself, you know? So here's some things I want to show you about fear of what? Well, fear of looking bad. If I do this, I'm going to look bad. If it doesn't turn out, I'm going to be bad, you know? Fear of failure. Oh, my God, I'm going to eat worms, roll over, and die. Fear of ridicule and not doing it right. Oh, for sure. If I'm not getting ridiculed, I'm not really dancing in the world enough. Fear of being judged or evaluated. I want to be judged and evaluated, but a lot of times that'll just stop you. You just stand in your own corner and just go, okay, nobody's judging me, I'm doing fine. Fear of being stopped by what you don't know. Heck, half my world is what I don't know. All right? I love being surprised by what I don't know. You can't get to what you don't know unless you can write down what you do know. When you write down what you do know, it kind of hangs out on a piece of paper and it opens up your mind. Then all of a sudden, oh my God, I didn't know that. It shows up. Fear of actually getting what you want. Now this one is huge. The fear of actually getting what you want stops most or 80% of good thinkers because they have no data. Where do you put actually having a life that you want? Where do you put getting what you want? Where do you put being successful? I mean, I've coached so many people that have worked themselves to success and then sabotage it because they don't know anything about it. They only know about struggle. They only know about working hard to get there. They only know about work, I'll fall over and die, you know? So it's all about understanding that your life is a game. You got to learn to play it, okay? Remember, the only people in the world who don't make mistakes are the ones not doing anything. You all got that? We've been a part of that, critter, group where we're not doing anything for a while. The only problem with us is we start vibrating, we got to get moving, all right? Now, you have to stay clear and get past the mind chatter that says, you can't go there, I can't have it, and be able to recognize when you're stopped. Now, let me see. I guess now would be a good time to talk about how your mind works. And I'll do the short version today. Now, your mind is designed, and I'm sure you remember me saying this to you at one time or another, your mind is designed, and very well, and for good reason, to keep you safe. That's the job of your mind, all right? And it's very personal. So it uses your data, your experience, to keep you safe. Now, if you've already done something, what do you call that? If you've already done something, you call it the past. So your mind is designed to keep you in the past. Why? Because that's the only way it can keep you safe. It's the only way it can keep you from hurting yourself. It's the only way it can keep you in a place that it knows how to manage you. So everything that's beyond what you've done already, your mind will try and stop you. That's where the mind chatter comes from that says you're a putz, or you're not going to make it, or you're going to be eating worms, or life is going to be hard. Oh, my God. Okay? So how do you know when your mind has got you stuck? So these are some indicators of being stopped. Okay, you ready? I'm having so much fun, my mouth's actually getting dry. I haven't had that done in years. By the way, this April, I'm going to be 70, and I'm worried about what's going to happen when I'm 70, you know? It's like, can I still lift weights? Can I still have fun? Like, I want to go learn to ride horses. And I bought myself a John Deere tractor, and I just wonder if I'm going to be too old to get up on it. And all that stuff's going through my mind. None of it's true, but, you know, I think about it. So indicators of being stopped. You ready? Here we go. Your mind says, I will catch up at the end of the month. Don't worry about it. I can just let it go. I'll catch up at the end of the month. All right? Or you turn off your phone. Oh, yeah, that's a good way to get things going in your head. You just turn off your phone and so nobody can communicate with you. Your mind chatter, one of them says, I don't want to play. This, get away from me. I don't want to play with this. It's too scary. Not being related. Oh, that's a good one for a family. No fun, no passion. Oh, yeah, you're just a great person to be around doing that. Feeling sorry for yourself. Now, I know none of you have ever done this one, feeling sorry for yourself. Man, I can remember so many times I'm walking off stage and I'm going, oh, I screwed that up. I'm such a putz. I don't know if I'll ever recover. And I'm feeling sorry for myself. And Beth goes, you were great. And I'm going, no, I wasn't. I was dying up there. And then I go, wait a minute. Now, which way do I want to be? I'm dying up there, or you were great? So I finally learned to take on the you were great side. Boy, life got good real quick. All right? Feeling sorry for yourself. That's really funny. All right? Making others wrong. Have you ever noticed how you can really spend a lot of time doing that, making others wrong? Isn't that great? Man. Wow, I just looked out the window here, and it's snowing again in Montana. I've got 4.5 feet of snow on the ground, and it's snowing some more. So I could be really bummed, man. I'm stuck in the house some more. What am I going to do? How about learn to snowshoe? Yeah. All right, so now, how about no time? I don't have time to do this stuff. I mean, these are things that you want to be present to, that when you hear them and you think them, you're stopped. My family is mad at me, so I don't know what to do. Poor me. I'm too tired. Let's eat worms, roll over, and die. I hate paperwork. I don't want to be responsible. I mean, why me? Why can't someone else do this? I have no plan. Oh, poor boy. I want to do it my way. Oh, you big old control monster. I'm too busy. Oh, yeah, you're so important. Who needs a purpose statement? We'll go over that later. Who needs a personal plan? I already have a to-do list. My God. I know what I need to do. I don't need to write it down. Oh, that one's a killer. All right? That's what your mind is telling you, so you don't write down what your future is. All right? Screw it. Let somebody else do it. Oh, here's the best. They don't pay me enough to work this hard. What do you think of that? Pretty good, huh? Being unstoppable in your own behalf. Never give up. Never give up. Never give up. Now, being unstoppable, what does that mean? And when you find yourself stopped, it happens to all of us. Take the action down below. I'm going to give you to get unstopped. All right? Now, listen to these things from a new possibility now. Actions to get unstopped. Ask for help. I mean, what a concept. All right? Get a sense of humor. Learn to laugh at yourself. I mean, most human beings are absolutely hilarious. I get on stage and I start talking, and I'm usually laughing at myself during the third or fourth paragraph when I first get started. I haven't even started the PowerPoint, but I'm just cracking up about who I am, stand up on stage, and these 500 or 600 or 700 people are looking at me like I really know something. Hell, I don't know anything. I'm just making stuff up as I go. Actions for getting unstopped. Ask for help, right? Getting a sense of humor. And if you can't do it yourself, go play with children. They'll get you straight. Communicate that you're stopped. Just say to your friend, hey, I'm stopped. And you'll find that the minute you communicate that you are stopped, getting unstopped is really easy. Call your coach. Call your clearing partner. This I do a lot for a lot of people around the world, okay? Get into action. Go for a walk. Most of the time, you have to be standing still to be stopped, okay? So exercise. Take a break and read your purpose statement, which we'll talk about. Go hug somebody. Now, this one, you might be a little bit careful with who you go hug. I mean, some folks don't know how to be hugged by a stranger, so they hang onto their wallet and don't hug you back except with one arm. Tell someone you love them. That really sounds difficult to do, so be careful. I mean, when you say, I really love you, you're really cool, thanks for all you do for me, they'll think, what is going on with this guy? Oh, my God, okay? Well, here's my best one. Go roller skate. I love to roller skate. The only thing is it's hard to roller skate when there's 4 feet of snow outside, all right? Go to a public place. Woo. Just watch people. Go for a drive, all right? But actually look at the forest or look at the town or look at the people in the cars. Actually be present of what's around you. Go for a drive. Same old thing. Now, here's one. Listen to music. Turn on the rock and roll and get the foot stomping, all right? Look at the sky. Get humble. Walk in the woods. That's a good one. Nature will get you straight real quick. Get the heck out of your head. What caused you to be stopped is your head. Get out of there, all right? Go back and read your plan. It's pretty cool, huh? Now, what if despite of all your very best efforts, you still aren't getting the results you want? Now, listen to this one now, okay? You have this plan for getting what you want, and you just can't get it. So it's time then to look at changing course, changing the direction, all right? And not necessarily change what you want, but change how you're getting there and who you're getting there with. It may be the choice of people that you've got on your team don't work. That happens. It's happened to me several times where I made bad decisions in who I want on my team, or the how I'm getting to where I'm going isn't working, all right? But the who I'm being hasn't changed. What I'm doing needs to change, all right? To have what I want, I have to change the tools that I've got that are helping me get there. There's nothing wrong with changing the course as long as you are clear about where you're going and have a plan for getting there. All right, you have to believe that you can get there, and you give up feeling that it's impossible. All right, you can't let your brain stop. You see, it's like when things go wrong when you're on the trail to get what you want, and there's things going wrong on the trail, your brain will go, "See, I told you so." So it'll just jump right on board and try and shut you down. Don't let it shut you down. The way you don't let it shut you down is you have to really, 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 really want what you want. Don't forget that. Okay, now, you have to be unstoppable on your own behalf. And by the way, you don't get a whole lot of support being unstoppable on your own behalf, all right? So this is something you have to really, really, really want and be clear about it. Write it down and know what it says. This next slide, it says, I didn't fail the test. I just found 100 ways to do it wrong. Benjamin Franklin. Now, that's a positive thinking. That's a positive thinking. It's a positive way of looking at things. You know, it's like, I didn't fail. Just the way I thought of it didn't work. So next. You got it? That's what's really cool here. All right? Now, our minds are incredibly powerful and creatively make up stuff. So we're walking, talking, making up machines. If we use our brain wisely, if we choose to think positively, eventually our lives will become more positive. Look, if your life is negative, how'd you get there? If your life isn't working, how'd you get there? If your life isn't going in the direction that you say you wanted, whose problem is it? It's yours. It's us. It's me. If you're spending a lot of time making somebody else wrong for what you got, give it up. Guess what? If you went to talk to the people that you're making wrong for your life being the way it is, they wouldn't even know what you're talking about. You got it? Have you ever noticed when you got straight with your dad or mom after when you were about 45 or so and you go and you say something to your dad, you know, Dad, back when, and you said this and everything else, it really killed me and I haven't been the same since. And your dad looks at you straight and says, son, I'm sorry, I didn't know. And you've been thinking all this time that that was his total plan, is to mess with your head. Did you get that one? So it's all about getting straight. If you use your head wisely and understand how it tries to use you, if that's the case, then you can choose to think positively. Eventually, your life will become more positive. The impossible becomes possible. And it's in the possibilities where we want to accomplish and who we want to be. It will be limitless. Can you hear that? I always say you can have anything you want if you want it enough. And sometimes it takes a little time. I mean, it took me a long time to get as happy as I am, but look at me now. Doesn't that sound like more fun than living with no possibility of anything being any different than the way it is now? So think about that. Look around you. And I'm not saying you're walking around all bummed out and dragging your left foot behind you. I'm just saying, sometimes there are things we put up with in our life because we think we have to put up with them to have what we want. Guess what? Not true. So it doesn't sound like more fun than living life with no possibility of anything being any different than it already is. So, or doesn't that sound like? So it's like you have to get how powerful you are. You are a walking, talking business machine. You are a walking, talking, thinking machine. You are a walking, talking, make it up machine. So great. Let's make up good stuff. I mean, I have some time. There has been so many times when I've been standing on stage and I'd be talking to 1,000 people or 4,000 people or 400 people, all right, or 2 people, however it worked out. And I'll say something that's not in the notes, not in the PowerPoint, I never thought of before. And I'll yell back to the back of the room to Beth or Susan and say, hey, write that down. That was a good thought. It's because things come up for me that I hadn't thought of before, and I don't want to miss them. So thank God I've got Beth and Susan to write down what just came up to me, and I spoke very well, that I actually believed it. Wow, cool. The other side of it is, if I say I'm doing something that just came up, and I'm really not, then if I don't go do it real quick, I'd be out of integrity with my speaking. So it's really cool to live on an edge that your own mind is giving you stuff you haven't even thought of before. So it's really cool to be friends with your head. It takes a long time to get there, right? So let's start doing it now. So this is my challenge to you folks, okay? Choose just one thing or one person or one issue that you will consciously be more positive about. All right? Then watch how those positive thoughts transform your view of a person or a situation or a time. The impossible is possible. It's just a thought. Thanks very much, y'all. I want you to know I had a blast doing this talk. Now, will you please send in a note to Beth, which you do right there where you can ask a question. If you got questions, go ahead and ask them. But also, give me some topics that you'd like me to speak on, man, and I'll dance with it, okay? All right, Beth, so back to you.
Yes, thank you. So yes, anybody who has any topics for next, for the coming up webinars or any questions you have, please go ahead and type them into the question box there in your control panel. And while you're doing that, Clay, one thing I was thinking about is, I mean, you know, you are a happy guy, and I think the way the fun you had today shows that. So what are some of the things you do on a daily basis? I mean, I know we've talked generally about, you know, 1 through 8 of the tips for, you know, staying more positive and doing things. But what do you do on a daily basis, and sometimes even a moment by moment basis, to keep yourself in that headspace?
Yeah, I mean, I can give you a few things. Like, I absolutely, every morning, without fail, thank the Lord for waking me up. And then I put my feet on the ground, and I laugh if my feet are numb. And if they're not, I go, oh, cool, something's going to happen good today. Because at 70 years old, circulation gets a little weird sometimes. So I start off the day with a sense of humor, okay? And I've got an English bulldog that's my best friend, and 3 cats that, you know, want me to get up and play with them. One weighs about 35 pounds, the other weighs about 20 pounds. And when you have those cats walking on you, each foot feels like, you know, some sort of a metal tube going into your body, so they thump across you. And that's the way they say good morning, so I say good morning back. And then Susan brings me my coffee, and I give her a hug, and I'm ready to go. You know, I either go take a shower or I just put on my clothes and get ready for the coaching day. The second thing I do is I eat well. I make sure that I eat 6 times a day, very small meals, and I keep my nutrition up, and I eat really good food that's for you. And thank God for Susan, because she knows all about that stuff. And last but not least, I drink enough water. I was just totally amazed when I started drinking the amount of water I'm now drinking, how much I feel better, because I'm putting water into a body that's mostly water. Duh. I mean, gee, what a thought. Okay, last but not least, I have I have 11 clearing partners across the United States that I can call, and I say, good morning, hi, I need to clear, and they either say, okay, let's do it, or they say, I can't do it now, and I hang up and call the next person. And I get rid of anything that's in my mind that doesn't make my day better. So I just speak it out to somebody. I just give it to them. Okay? And then last but not least, when I really get to it, it's like I know it's good for me and I know I should do it, but I don't do it as often as I should, is I learned to meditate, and that is a phenomenal tool. Okay, that's about it.
And you don't know that I'm going to ask you this, but would you
Oh
want to
God,
share
what
your
is it?
purpose statement with everybody?
Oh, sure. Is I make a difference. My purpose statement is I make a difference with anyone I'm standing next to, any place I'm standing on the planet, including myself. And I've had that purpose statement for, gosh, 20 years. And there's probably some people on this call that have been in workshops with me or whatever, and they have purpose statements, and respectfully get them out and start using them again. If I find that what I'm doing or what I'm angry about doesn't fit in that purpose statement, I change it. If it does fit in that purpose statement, I keep doing it. It's really simple, really clean, really short, really succinct. So it's great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I do have a question here from the queue.
Okay, hiya, Q.
It says, what if for most of your life you've done a certain type of work and you know that deep down in your heart you were only doing it for the money? And in your ideal world, you'd rather be doing something else that better suits your skills and personality. How would you deal with this dilemma?
Well, if I knew that, like you say, this guy says, or this person says, he knows he's not in the place he needs to be or loves, is I'd set up a way to do early retirement or to have enough money to live many years at the lifestyle I choose, and then I'd go do it. Do not, I repeat, do not go through your life not doing what you love. I mean, I hope you all understand, I absolutely, no question, love what I do. Absolutely, emphatically love what I do. I get tired of it. I get mad at it. I don't want to do it. I go, oh, screw this. Here, let somebody else do it. And then after I sit down and feel sorry for myself for about 3 or 4 hours, I get back to do it because everything I give to people, I get back. It gives me my energy. It gives me my purpose. It gives me my reason for being. I love contributing to people. It's absolutely fantastic. So there you go.
Good.
Wow.
And then I have just one other one here. And that is, as an employer, how do you get your staff thinking more this way? As the leader, you can have all this down, but if the people around you don't, how do you handle that?
It's real simple. Your staff will follow what you do. So you make sure you've got all this down. You make sure you've got all this in your life. You make sure you've got this in your language. You make sure you've got this forgiveness in your world. And your staff will come up to you and say, you're different. Something's different about you. What is it? And then you have a chance to teach them something. Your staff will follow the lead every time.
Fantastic.
Okay, now, Beth, have we gotten any titles of workshops to come in from all these people?
We have 3. Dealing with difficult people or situations.
Okay, that's good.
Writing a life plan.
Oh, sure, we can do that.
Yeah, writing a business plan.
Oh my gosh, wow. I don't think I can do that in 45 minutes, but we could get it started, and maybe we should do 2 webinars in a month on that one.
Yeah, we could break that down into segments, much like we have the workbook broken down.
Yeah, but I don't want to have a month between segments.
Sure.
Too long. So we have to figure something out for that one. Okay, what else?
Those are the topics that we have, and that is it for the questions we have. Okay,
cool. All right. Well, thanks for being here, and gosh, I had way too much fun on this one.
Yeah, and thank you, everybody. You can expect to have an email from me by Monday of next week with the link to the recording of the webinar, and we hope you've enjoyed it. Of course, the recording gives you an opportunity to go back and review it yourself, but also to share with coworkers, people that that you think might benefit. So please definitely share it with your friends and family, and let's get the world rocking. Have a great day, everybody.